Hello, everybody. It's Betsy Walker. I hope you're all doing well today and you're preparing for Thanksgiving and excited about Thanksgiving. No matter how that's going to look for you this year, it may be a little different than normal, right? We all have that, unfortunately, to deal with. So today, I wanted to bring to you a topic which is very heavy on my heart because I think we're all dealing with a new level of stress, and we're seeing things out there that are disturbing. All right. So, what I'm seeing is a lot of people feel really helpless and hopeless about the current situation. And we're just trying to survive, right? We're just doing the best we can. So, I wanted to bring to light the need to be more aware of what trauma is and what trauma can look like depending on who you are and what experience you've had. So not to downplay like real extreme trauma, because I know people that have been through extreme trauma, and obviously it's life shattering, and many people are experiencing that right now. So, but we're all experiencing some kind of trauma on different levels. And so that's why I want to bring to light today, and how we can actually help ourselves through these times. So definitely the definition of trauma is a deeply distressing or disturbing experience or a physical injury. Emotional and psychological trauma is the result of an extraordinary stressful event that shatters our sense of security, making us feel helpless in a dangerous world. It can leave you struggling with upsetting emotions and memory and even anxiety that won't go away. Okay, so those are the definitions I pulled off of the internet, and I'm sure there's more. Like I said, I don't want to get too technical. But I've heard people talk about, big T trauma and little t trauma. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's how you're handling your situation, your experiences, and how they affect you. Okay, because we're all affected in different ways. We all have different coping mechanisms. We have different experiences. We have different support systems. So it doesn't really matter how you define your level of trauma. But I would also like to ask you to embrace that trauma could also mean something that's going on over a period of time in a life that you're not used to, something that's going on right now that you're not used to having to deal with. And it's very stressful for you, right? We're seeing that a lot, obviously, because of COVID. And because of just changing situations with our political environment, businesses going out of business, people losing their jobs, people having to switch jobs, people having to move and relocate, just all sorts of things. And then obviously losing loved ones to COVID. So, I think it was brought to light to me by a friend that even, getting through that election was traumatic for some people because we're so emotionally invested in it, right? And maybe you feel like like you had no control, and you don't have any control, and it's you didn't like the outcome, or maybe you did like the outcome, but it was so stressful going through it. So those are some things, there's issues with, in the household with the changes that we've had with COVID. People can get testy and short tempered, and, we have to live in close quarters, so marriage and child issues can happen. And I know from a personal perspective that just regular, bringing your children up in normal days is difficult, because before COVID, pre-COVID, I had an experience with my teenager that it was traumatic, very traumatic, and he was very troubled. And the things that he said to me over time were traumatic. I mean, I realized afterwards, not until afterwards, that I had been traumatized by my own son. So, sometimes it's hard to recognize this stuff as it's happening because you're just coping and coping. But I want you to step back and look, either for yourself, or if you have a loved one or somebody you care about that you think is experiencing some, very difficult times, and that it's affecting them in ways that are not healthy, that are really troublesome. Take a look at it in maybe a different light, that maybe it's something that you need to take care of like right away, because it can affect your health and your wellness in the future. It could set you up for disease, or things that are going to happen in the future, which you don't want, obviously. So our brain is set up to protect us, right? It's made for survival. So if you find yourself procrastinating more on things that maybe that you need to do, or you have to do, but you just really, there's something that you can't seem to get it done, that could be an issue. There's something there to look at. Maybe you're making excuses about not dealing with somebody or something. Maybe you're sleeping more, and maybe you're eating more and eating poorly. So just take a look at your overall situation, your habits, what's going on in your life, and step back and say, is there something going on here that maybe I need to address? Okay. Or if it's a loved one, you might have to figure out a way to speak to them about it, so that they don't actually get worse. So, as you think about maybe a situation or a person you're dealing with, or whatever it is, do you lose sleep? Do you feel isolated or hopelessness? Maybe when you think about it, your heart rate increases, or maybe you sweat a lot and you're like, why am I sweating? You can get dizziness and nausea and headaches a lot. So these kind of things, like I said, I'm not diagnosing, but some of these things you might say, oh, something might be going on here. Pain, increased pain, and muscle tension. So our muscles actually try and protect us, but sometimes it's counterproductive. So I notice a lot, like if I'm under a lot of stress, I get a lot of neck pain and muscle tension in my neck. So that's just a sign for me that I'm under stress, and sometimes it's bad stress, and it's more of a small T trauma stress. So I know that I have to step back and take care of that. All right. So there's just so many certain, things that are going on in our life right now that you need to look at. And excuse me, I dropped my paper. So, if you look around, you see that there's just a huge cost going on now. Suicide rates are on the rise. I happen to know 2 people who have been affected in the last week by suicide. And drug and alcohol use is on the rise as well. All you have to do is go and park outside of a liquor store and watch how many people are going in and out. They're, self-medicating that way. And then there's the long-term effects, obviously health issues that people have, heart disease, increased rates of obesity and diabetes, depression, chronic pain, autoimmune diseases. All those things can be brought on by this chronic stress that we have, and trauma. So just imagine what it would be like to have regular, restful sleep. If you're not getting that, what would it be like to have your relationships be, happier and more? Just everybody getting along really well. Maybe performing better in your work or business, or not letting the small things bother you as much, that you're having to deal with these days. Taking better care of your body, what it would be like, and to be able to not only feel better, but also see the difference in your body, because you really feel good about taking care of your body. And what if you were to think about a stressful situation or a memory, and it not even really affect you? How amazing would that be? I mean, everybody in life has a situation that they think about in the past that was stressful. And when you think about it, you kind of relive that a little bit. So what if you just didn't have the emotional, feeling anymore to that? It just like, oh, it happened, but it doesn't even bother you. So that's what we need. That's where we need to get to. Okay. So how do we do that? How do we change the situation where, things that would normally trigger you don't trigger you or bother you anymore? And what would it be like if you had a method to help yourself kind of release these things, so that when you started feeling stressed, you're like, oh, okay, I can take care of this. I realize I'm under stress, and this situation's bothering me, and I'm just going to take care of it. So that's what I'm here today to tell you a little bit about, because we don't want to use those Band-Aids anymore. Too often we use things, medication, we maybe distractions. So a lot of people, too much internet, TV, eating things that are bad for us. Those kinds are just Band-Aid methods, right? So there's there's other ways out there to deal with this. There's lots of holistic techniques. The one I'm going to talk to you a little about is called aroma freedom, and that is to actually use the essential oils, the smell of the essential oils, to change what goes on in your brain. All right, it's just amazing how those little molecules, they go up into your olfactory system, and they actually affect your limbic area of your brain, which means that it's like very quick, and all of a sudden you are, you're relaxed while you're thinking about something stressful. So there's like a mismatch, and the brain doesn't know how to do that. So it actually releases the tension and the emotion related to that thought or that memory that you're dealing with. So that's the template that I use, the technique that I've been taught by a psychologist by the name of Dr. Benjamin Purkis, and it's called Aroma Freedom Technique. And I have been trained in it, and I love to help people with that. So the reason I'm talking about this is because I have an event coming up on December 9th. It's a Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, where you can sign up for this. It's a 2.5 hour, well, I call it a retreat, because you're going to feel amazing afterwards. And it's going to be a way for you to learn how to use this technique and learn how powerful it is. So it's actually going to be an experience. And there'll be a little bit of education at the very beginning, but you're going to actually get to experience it. So you got to sign up right away so I can send you samples of these oils. I'll send them in little packets, little foil packets, and you'll get to experience this and be able to move through some of these stressful things that are happening to you now, or maybe they've happened in the past. So I want you to just know that this is going to be like, you're going to end up feeling great afterwards. It's just amazing. People have been through it, just rave about it. And I'll have some people doing some, talking about what it's done for them as well. So you can hear just how impactful it is in people's lives. So my intention with doing this, is just to get this out in the world and let people know how powerful it is, so that people don't have to struggle, especially during these times, holiday times, that are so difficult. So I encourage you to check out the link that I'm going to post below the video, and, sign up ahead of time, because like I said, I've got to get those to you in the mail, and it's coming up quickly. And please refer somebody. If you see somebody in your sphere of influence, your life, your business, whatever, your job, whatever is going through rough times, I encourage you to let them know about this, because this is something that can really help people and help them very quickly. All right. So I hope that you all have a very, very happy Thanksgiving, that you do have some wonderful times that you can be grateful for. And that's really the whole purpose, right? Is to just say what do we have, what we can be grateful for, and raise those vibrations in our consciousness, so that we are actually feeling, like we are lucky. So there are many things that we are lucky for. And I am very lucky to have all of you out there watching. And I appreciate, your support and all your interest that you've given me over the time that I've been doing these lives. I am just blessed to be out there helping people. All right. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.